Joseph Pace High School for this afternoon's lovely lacrosse matchup between the Case High Cardinals and the visiting Blue Devils of Fairhaven High School. This is Tyler Clark for Swansea Community Network taking this game solo. So, full disclaimer in ahead, first time I've ever done a solo lacrosse game. I'll go over some rules with you. As a reminder beforehand, Director Adam Kitchen will be on the camera. So as you can see out in the lacrosse, we play on the football field. We have about 11 players on each side and then the goalie. So, midfielders, attackers, and defenders on each side. The lacrosse goal, you can see it on either end when Director Adam Kitchen pivots the camera, is going to be 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide. As I'm talking, though, we have gotten underway here. This is going to be the final home game of the year for the Cardinals. The previous game that Kerry and I did, we originally thought that they were winless on the year. I stand corrected. They are 5-2, as assistant coach Ellie Roberts was explaining to me before the game. I know absolutely nothing about Fairhaven. They did not have a roster. I don't know their record. So if you're a Fairhaven fan and you're watching this, I apologize in advance. I don't know much about the team. I know that they're wearing blue, and the team is mainly composed of 7th and 8th graders. Fairhaven and Case did face each other earlier on in the year. Fairhaven won that game 6-5. But I was told that it was 5-0 until very late in the game when Case mounted a furious comeback and then came on only to lose. Now Case with a very good drive. This is number 10, Abby Vallis, loses the handle. It's going to be picked up by number 12, Kelsey Farrell. Case with a very good look coming down the other way as Julia Lopes with it in the corner. A very good passing going on from the Cardinals. Remember, the last game we did, they won 11-1 over the Old Colony Cougars in an absolute blowout. It wasn't really close from the start. Case with a good drive, shot on goal, and score! That's going to be number 3, Gianna Botello. Picking up a very quick goal for the Cardinals. It's already 1-0 here at the start of the first quarter. We do play 4 quarters of lacrosse. I will have absolutely no idea how much time is left in the quarter, as a full disclaimer. We do have an official scorekeeper down there on the field. You might be able to see him. He's sitting behind a big screen. I cannot really see the screen. Director Adam Kitchen may pivot to that once or twice. The scoreboard is not on. We do not have any way to keep track of time up here other than just kind of approximating how long this is going to be. So, again, goal scored already by Botello to get us started very quickly. This is very similar to the last home game that we did for Case, where they beat the Old Colony Cougars again by the final score of 11-1 in that game. This is the first season that Case has fielded a lacrosse team. This is JV. They're not having a varsity team. Coach Ellie Roberts is hoping for varsity next year. Fairhaven with an excellent drive. Case defenders are there. A number of Case defenders, actually, and intercepted in the middle there, knocked away by number 4, Abby Gauthier. The whistle blows. And it looks like it's going to be a corner, potentially, for the Blue Devils. A couple other things about a lacrosse field. It's 110 yards long, 60 feet wide. Attackers and defenders must stay on each side of the field. A couple stats for the Cardinals. Emma Plant is the team leader in assists. And the leading goal scorers are the aforementioned Gianna Botello as well as Maeve Richardson. This Case team, JV, they have 2 seniors on the team, Kaylin Hayter and Maeve Richardson, both from field hockey, and a goal is scored by the Blue Devils past Avery Plant. And it's going to quickly be 1-1. You may hear this on the broadcast. There is a bird that seems to be making a nest very close to where we're filming and broadcasting this game from the top of the press box, climbing into a camera or a light fixture of some kind, only a few feet from me. It's very loud. It does not like the fact that Ab and I are up here. Keeps letting me know that. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way too much. So 1-1, just underway here from Case High School. Lacrosse matchup, Cardinals versus the Fairhaven Blue Devils. Case looking for a strong final home game. I'm not sure if they have another game scheduled away after this, or if this is the final one for the year, that I am not sure of. Coming in with a 5-2 record, it would make sense that this is the 8th and final game. So you'll see, as that's Cassidy Blair, number 2, running with that ball, she has to dribble it in the net or the cradle of her stick. That's kind of like dribbling a basketball. You have to dribble it back and forth or you can be called for a violation. You'll probably notice in the corner of your screen that the Case High baseball team is also playing at home today. They're facing the Tiverton Wildcats. I believe it's the Wildcats from Tiverton. A team that I don't ever remember Case facing before, honestly. They both have the same color scheme, so I'm not really sure who is who out there right now. But as I'm talking, an excellent drive, knocked away, though, by the goalie. That was number 10, Abby Vallis. As she has it now, you can play behind the net in lacrosse, as you can see Vallis back there right now. She's going to try again. The shot knocked down by the goalie twice. As I'm talking about the goalie, you can see in her hand a very large, it's almost like a pool skimmer out there with how large it is. The goalie is allowed to use a much larger stick. The goalie can also wear a helmet. You see the players out on the field, they're wearing goggles but no protective headgear. The goalie, for obvious reasons, is allowed to wear that extra protective gear. Pretty even matchup so far. Both teams have had decent shots on goal. 1-1 still as we play the first. Fairhaven with a good look. But Case defense, Case known for their excellent defense actually. This goes back, a lot of these players were on the field hockey team, a team that was known for its low scoring games with, as I said, a lot of defense. Case looking to end the year strong. I thought that the last game that we did with Carey was their first win of the year. It was absolutely not. They're coming with a 5-2 record, as there goes Emma Plant down the far sideline, the assist leader for the Cardinals so far. About a head taller than everyone else. I can hear Emma getting some advice from the crowd from, I believe, her mom in the stands. Case with another good drive. Number 10 for the Cardinals, that's Abby Vallis, and scores! So Abby Vallis with the second tally so far for Case, and very high scoring game so far. It's already 2-1 in the first quarter. What we'll do here at Swansea Community Network is I'll talk with you and stay, I'm not going to say on air, but in the game with you through the quarters. We'll take a break at halftime. We will also take a break in the very unfortunate circumstance that there's an injury on the field. We never like to show those. That's it. We'll pretty much go right through besides that. So 2-1. Goals by Botello and Vallis so far for Case. 1 goal for Fairhaven pretty early on as the tip goes underway. And it looks like Fairhaven will control it, and actually a penalty will be called. Don't have rules expert Carrie McElroy with me today. She was supposed to do this game with me, but had something unfortunate come up at the last minute that I hope all is well with. Case will drive again. Number 3, Gianna Botello. She already scored once. She dumps it to number 8, Janaea Porras. Porras looking to pass inside, gets it to Plant. Plant backing the defender down. Shot did not roll off the cradle too well. It's controlled by the Blue Devils. Blue Devils are saying go Layla, so number 16, let it be known that her name is Layla. Now Case suddenly with another excellent look, a drive. Knocked away by the defender though. That's Julia Lopes, number 7. And the whistle will blow. And it looks like Lopes is going to get a good shot here at the goal. As the bird comes by my face. Official getting everyone in place. And here's Lopes, the shot, bouncing and scores. Lots of action so far. Julia Lopes gets in on it. That's her first goal. It's 3-1 Cardinals. A couple substitutions for the Blue Devils. Now, Fairhaven does have a JV and a varsity team, so you might be looking down at the benches and being like, why is Cases so much larger? Well, they only have one team. This is the first year they fielded the program, so they only have a JV team this year. As Kelly Roberts said, they're hoping to have a varsity and a JV team next year. If they don't have enough players, they'll just go with varsity. Whole different dynamic when you're playing varsity. Fairhaven with an excellent look. And it looks like a foul going to be called there, possibly on Cassidy Blair. And Fairhaven will line up. It appears for a penalty shot, or a good shot on goal. Avery Plant takes her stance behind the net. And there's the whistle. Fairhaven with the shot, and caught in the air by Plant. No issue there with a thunderous applause from the stands. Now Avery has to pass it. And she will try to wing that out to Plant. It is knocked away, controlled by a couple Case players. Ends up in the cradle of Plant again as a whistle briefly stops play. Looking up for Porras. And that's going to go out of bounds, stopped by the Fairhaven coach. It's number 12, Kelsey Farrell. 1 minute to go, says the official scorekeeper. Again, we'll stay here with you in between quarters. There was Lopes, and a penalty going to bring that back. Lopes is shaking her hand out there. She's going to get whacked. Good look inside from Case, the shot, and scores! That's going to be Maeve Richardson, number 25. Gets it on it, too. And very quickly, it's 4-1. Lots of action so far. I'm actually extremely impressed again, as Case has just come out with the foot on the gas pedal once more. They did this against the Cougars the last time out, and they're doing it again here. Winning 4-1 as we approach the end of the first quarter. We'll go through all of the goal scores for the Cardinals at that time. 30 seconds to go, says the official scorekeeper. As Plant, Case looking again for another look at the goal. And they're actually going to have a decent shot here. But Fairhaven is there to stop it. Kelsey Farrell did have it in her net very, very briefly, as the Blue Devils are going to have that knocked out of play. I'm going to guess that the final few seconds of the quarter will tick down here. And there is the whistle. And that does it here for the end of the first quarter here from Case High School. It's already 4-1 Case, and this is when Carrie normally would agree with me that it's been an excellent game, but Adam Kitchen can agree with me that it's a very good start to the game so far. So, goals by Gianna Botello, Abby Vallis, Julia Lopes, and Maeve Richardson for Case. Fairhaven did tally one goal themselves. It's already 4-1 as the Cardinals are off to another flying start in this game. They've looked very well in both of the games that we've done for you here at Swansea Community Network. I know we haven't brought you a lot of sport. It's been a bizarre combination of availability and meetings, and we're going to see. The softball team will qualify for the state tournament. That's a given. They're not a 1 seed this year, but they're still a very good team. Hopefully be able to bring you at least 1 or 2 state tournament games. Same thing with baseball, maybe at least 1 or 2. We'll have to see how the schedule shakes up as we end the final week, I think, of sports, at least for baseball and softball this week. Much cooler than the previous game that we did here. It was bright, it was sunny, it was warm. This does not feel like appropriate end of May weather today. It's overcast, it's breezy, it's maybe at the most 60 degrees today. So a bit of a cooler way to end the season, at least at home for Case. Still all smiles down there for these girls. I can see as we are looking down at the benches as Fairhaven coach is getting a little animated about what to be expected with her team right now. It's a first-year program for the Cardinals, looking to build and expand, which they certainly will for next year. Another spring sport to go along with softball, track and field, and tennis as girls' options. It's possible going forward that we might see a boys lacrosse team form. Hard to say. We'll have to gauge the interest in that as well. I have to comment on this. I know, Adam, I know we're not filming the Case baseball team against Tiverton. Their uniforms are exactly the same. They both have maroon uniforms with what appears to be gold number lettering. That just seems extremely confusing to me personally, but that's just an observation as a spectator right now as I see that game unfolding up there. I'm not sure if the softball team is playing today or not. I know they play. We're hoping to bring you that game. Obviously, when I say tomorrow, this game will be airing after the fact. Supposed to play the Norton Lancers, a very talented team, as their final home game of the year. So 4-1 as we play the second here at Case High. Case looking to expand on an impressive first quarter. They come in with a 5-2 record. The other home game that we brought you this year was 11-1 victory over Old Colony. I mistakenly thought it was their first victory on the year, and it was not. And it looks like an error with that. We're going to try again. Kelsey Farrell was the one in the middle that went up for it for Case. Gianna Botello out there, number 3. And now Fairhaven, we switch sides. They're going to be coming down the other way. Knocked away by the Cardinals, but a foul might have been called on that. I think there was on number 23, Kylie Cabral. Not said her name yet in this game. Coach Ellie Roberts said that they only have one goalie on the roster, which is Avery Plant. Not sure what will happen if there's an injury to Avery. Let's hope that doesn't happen anyway. Fairhaven had a penalty shot, and Plant will pick it up. Long pass. What a pass! Right on a seam to Cabral. And Fairhaven will intercept that. And a penalty will be called there. Might have been a high stick. They're going to play on, though. Knocked away by Cardinal defense. Case defense is just swarming. I mean, the Fairhaven offense had a really good look, and they did score pretty early into the game, but after that, a whole lot of nothing. Case defense there again. Serenity Gosson, number 1. And now Blair. She scoops it out to Richardson. That's Maura Richardson. And a whistle was blown, I think. And there's definitely a whistle there. Richardson. I think they're going to make, it looks like Blair's going to have to take it again. That's exactly what's going to happen. To Cassidy Blair. And a whistle there on Horace, but she's going to play on. Horace has that ball swatted behind. That is legal. You can come and swat, knock it out of the defender's stick. Or not the defender's stick. The defender would be whacking the stick of the offensive player. There's Porras again. Field hockey star. Gets it over to Botello. There goes Gianna Botello down the side with speed. Botello with a pass in. This is an excellent look for the Cardinals and knocked away by the goalie. Farrell had a heck of a look there. But the Fairhaven goalie was there. I really thought that was going to be a goal. Case will try again, though. There's a drive in. The dribble is lost. There's a scrum for the ball. I can't even see what's going on from my angle. And the whistle will blow. And it looks like the Blue Devils will take control of this, and indeed they do. This game requires an immense amount of stamina. You are up and down that field. Again, this is a full-length football field. This Case defense, though, is all over Fairhaven. They can't even get the ball across the quarter field mark. They finally get it over. But number 12, Kelsey Farrell, is all up in the business of that Fairhaven player. Fairhaven finally crosses midfield with the ball after immense effort just to run into some more defenders. The Blue Devils driving. The shot and a score. So after all that effort, pretty much going the length of the field, the Blue Devils get one into the net on Plant. And it is 4-2. Case still leads. I think that was the same player that scored last time as well for Fairhaven, number 34. And Fairhaven has it again as they drive. Lots of good dribbling for the Blue Devils. They're looking strong now. It was a slow start. Case defense is right there again. Number 19, Isabella Catini. Strong defender for the Cardinals there. Most of these Case girls have played in the game, at least at this point. Try to get everyone in, I would say, at least once. Strong bench. Fairhaven circles behind the net. Long pass out. Looking for a breakthrough on this Case defense. They're going to drive, and Emma Plant is right there. Knock it away. Now, excuse me, that was Maura Richardson, number 18. That sounded like thunder off in the distance. I didn't think the weather was supposed to turn that much. Either that or is something else entirely. And a whistle's blown. Yeah, Fairhaven looks like they might have a penalty shot. Or they're going to take it from the corner, actually. And they will take it from the corner. Case defense right there. And Avery Plant gets that in her net. Gonna whiz that out. Pass gets away a little bit, unfortunately, from Blair. Fairhaven getting some defenders in. Coach is talking to one of the players about something, like maybe adjusting her face mask, actually. And a yellow card is going to be issued on Blair, number 2 there. There was an injury actually out there in the midst of that. Number 34 coming out for the Blue Devils. It's the first time I've seen a yellow card issued in a lacrosse game. That's going to go on Blair, number 2. She's off talking to one of the Case coaches right now as we play on here. Ball was lost. Case offense has definitely slowed in this quarter. They haven't scored yet. Only 1 goal from Fairhaven. Spent a lot of time down on the Case goal side of things today. And Fairhaven will take it behind the net. Another whistle is blown. Thank you for joining us today. Tyler Clark, Swansea Community Network, doing this game solo, along with director Adam Kitchen on the camera. Second and final broadcast lacrosse game of the season, second ever in the history of Case High School, as the Cardinals currently lead the Fairhaven Blue Devils 4-2 in the second quarter. Case had a thunderous start. 3 very fast goals, and they tacked on a 4th the end of the period. And so far, that's been it for the Case offense. They haven't scored in the period, but they have a very good shot here with a long, long drive and scores. Unbelievable. That's Vallis with their second goal of the game, as she goes almost the full length of the field to get that into the net. And it's 5. In the midst of all that discussion before, one of the Fairhaven players was injured. I didn't even notice it on the field. I'm not really sure where she was. I mean, I'll see the tape back when we watch it again. Emma Plant out there for the opening tip, and she controls it herself. There goes Emma. They want big EP. They tried to get her a goal last game, and it's a casino. There's Plant with a drive. Going to give it behind now. Behind the net at number 17, Albritton. And the shot just off. Looks like that hit the metal. Dara Albritton. So this is porous. Case went from having nothing all quarter to just lots of offense and offensive opportunities very suddenly. Referee maintaining some order out there right now. And Porras going to get a good look here. High pass to Farrell. The shot, lost it. And will it be Case or Fairhaven with the ball? Looks like Kelsey Farrell will have it. Here's Farrell with the shot, scores! Kelsey Farrell nets her first goal of the game. It's 6-2 Case. Abby Vallis comes out. I'm not sure the circumstance. She might have an injury. The referee insisted that she come out. Not entirely sure. If I find out more information to let you know, though, she seems fine. As I'm talking, Porras with the ball in the far corner. Case, as I said, had did nothing on offense this entire quarter, and they just really got it going in the last 2 minutes or so. This is Richardson, number 25, looking for a long pass. I'm not sure if that was intended for Albritton, but it does go to her. Albritton with the shot and scores. Dara Albritton with her first goal. And it's 7-2. About 3 minutes ago, it was 4-2. Case has just really exploded here in the last few minutes. Couple new names in the game. I see number 5, Sierra Rougeau, and number 6, Alex Fiddler, have entered for Case. As Plant fighting for the ball around midfield. A couple Fairhaven defenders. There's Richardson with it. Richardson hits it across. Gianna Botello. Botello to Farrell. Case looking to shoot again, to drive. And Farrell was going to run out of time. That goal doesn't count. The clock had blown that dead. And as we head to halftime, the Cardinals lead 7-2. Goals so far by Gianna Botello, 2 goals from Abby Vallis, Julia Lopes, Maeve Richardson, Kelsey Farrell, and Adara Albritton have scored for the Cardinals. So this is Tyler Clark, Swansea Community Network. We're going to take a brief break for halftime, but we'll be back in a few moments to bring you second half action. Welcome back to the start of the second half of the season finale here at Case High for lacrosse between the Case High Cardinals and the Fairhaven Blue Devils. Tyler Clark calling with Adam Kitchen on the camera for Swansea Community Network. Happy to bring you the second ever broadcast game of lacrosse in the history of Case High School. Cardinals currently lead this one 7-2. They had a very strong first quarter and then did almost nothing in the second quarter until the last about 2 or 3 minutes, where they scored 3 rapid-fire goals to increase their lead. I see number 34 out there for the Blue Devils. She was injured in the first half. She's working with one of the coaches out there just to strengthen herself to see if she can return to this game. Hopefully she's able to get back in. An injury that I admittedly missed, or I wasn't really sure what was going on out there at the time. But the Cardinals looking to build on this lead, add to their record this year of 5-2. I'm not sure what Fairhaven's record is. Emma Plant double-teamed near midfield. That's a good strategy when you're facing off against Emma Plant. I'm really not going to lie with that one. But the Blue Devils, they have 2 goals. They've scored in each quarter, one-time piece. Looking to add. It's very difficult to really crack this Case defense, though. They are strong. They have a lot of experience in field hockey. We have some soccer players as well. They all come together to play lacrosse here for the first time. Only about 2 players on the roster, according to Coach Ellie Roberts, had ever actually played lacrosse before. Everyone else learned as they went. The Blue Devils tried to have their first legitimate look as that goes behind the net, which again you are allowed to do. There is some space. You can kind of wrap it around the net. There is, I didn't mention this before, but around the goal you'll see a circle. That's called the crease. You are not allowed to go into the crease. As an offensive player, it would disallow the goal, and Avery Plant ends up with that in her net. Coach Ellie Roberts yelling at Plant, to not sure what she was trying to get her to do with the ball, but I don't think it was that, as that ball harmlessly falls out of bounds. They're going to send a Case player up to get that one, number 7, Julia Lopes. Running to grab it. Fairhaven with the drive. Again, they have 2 goals so far. looking to make it 3 here with a really good look. Case defense is there, though. The ball has not been on the other side of the field yet in this half. It's completely been on the Fairhaven offensive side. But Gianna Vitello was looking to change that. She has absolutely unbelievable speed from what I've seen. Fairhaven with it again, knocked away, though. That's going to be a foul, though, on Abby Vallis. She comes in with 2 goals in the game. The only Case player who's scored more than once. May as well say this again while I'm here. Gianna Vitello, Julia Lopes, Maeve Richardson, Kelsey Farrell, and Adara Albritton with the other goals so far for the Cardinals. 6 players in total, coming up with 7 goals. It's still 7-2 with the drive and a score from the Blue Devils.
Let's go, G. Good job, Mary. Hey, let's go, G. Let's go, Blue Devils, G. Let's go.
The Blue Devils put their 3rd goal of the game into the net. It is 7-3. This half has been all Fairhaven so far. Case looking to really cross the midfield mark for the first time in the half. They had Kelsey Farrell out there at the start of the game. Looks like Emma Plant has now taken over, trying to control the ball after the goal by the Blue Devils. You get a huge disparity in players on the bench, as the Blue Devils only have 4 girls on the bench right now. In Case, just quickly doing the math, have about 9 more in addition to who's out there. What an unbelievable drive for the Cardinals, and the shot is scoring. Oh my goodness. That was Vallis. That's the hat trick for Abby Vallis. In and out of the defenders at just lightning fast. Emma Plant just got hit by the ball coming from the referee. That was definitely not intentional. And it's 8-3. Case leading in the 3rd quarter. On this blustery, overcast day here at Case High. Lacrosse is not a game to play if you don't like getting hit. There's a lot of physical contact. It's legal. Isabella Catini, number 18, dribbles up to Richardson, number 25. Richardson looking for a pass behind the net, and she gets it to Lopes. I'm not sure if her foot was on the line there. I think she may have been out of bounds, and Fairhaven will take over. And the dribbling begins for the Blue Devils. Long pass. And out of bounds. Looks like Case will take over. That's Vallis. She got 3 goals so far. She's going to circle back. Interesting strategy. There goes Vallis. She's still driving. Kind of ran out of steam there. Defenders closed in. Vallis looking to pass it. Studying inside and knocked away to the right of the goal. And that's going to be intercepted. Case does get it back, though. This is Lopes. Lopes, high pass, knocked down. I think that was to Plant. And Fairhaven will take over. Plant just kind of tried to tip that into the net and did not go. And a penalty going to be called. And Fairhaven will get it after a brief stoppage. Emma Plant there. Definitely the tallest girl out there on the field. Plant drives. Still on her feet. And knocked away. Ball squirts around. The official blows the whistle. And it's going to go to Fairhaven. Fairhaven Looking for a good drive. High pass. That hit a girl. I think that was, or almost hit a girl that was coming off the field. Fairhaven still going to keep driving. Case defense there as is usual. The shot was not cleanly controlled by the Blue Devils, and a whistle is blown. It is 8-3 as we play the third quarter. Looks like some confusion with the official over there. I don't know what it's about. Fairhaven looking for a shot, knocked away. Plant didn't have to work too hard for that, and a whistle blows. Fairhaven with another good look. Not cleanly controlled. Player on the ground. Not sure. I think she looks like she's okay. And she's up to her feet. I wasn't sure if she got trampled or not there. Brief stoppage of play, but everything seems to be fine. And looks like the Blue Devils will get a penalty shot. Or at least a good look at the net. Case controls it. Here's Vallis, the MVP of the game. Long pass, knocked away from behind. That was an excellent defensive play by Fairhaven. And there they will now take over in front of the Case bench. Case looking to make some substitutions. Kelsey Farrell, I think, ready to come in, as is Janaea Porras. Fairhaven has 3 goals. They're trying to make it 4. As they drive, good look at the net. Plant is there, gets by her though. I thought for a moment Avery had stopped that, but it did squirt past her. And the Blue Devils net their 4th goal. It is 8-4. Case athletic trainer is quickly away. She was helping out that injured Fairhaven player before, who I believe she is. She is back in the game. I'm glad to see that, number 34 for the Blue Devils. Was injured earlier. Cassidy Blair, number 2, back in the game for Case. 8-4 Cardinals, nearing the end of the third quarter. Final home game of the year for Case. Their inaugural girls lacrosse season. Ball is squirting around everywhere. It's finally going to be controlled by Case. That's Maura Richardson. She gets it up to Lopes. Lopes with a high pass. So she was looking for Albritton. And Fairhaven will get it in the far corner. Trying to get a quick peek on how the Case baseball team is doing up there. But I truly have no idea. This is Albritton. Behind the net now. Studying. Case going around her. She still has the ball. She's going to try to score herself, and it's knocked away. Albritton was determined to do that herself. And it'll be possibly a violation on the Blue Devils, I think. Albritton will have it. She dribbles that in her cradle. Here's the shot from Albritton. And a goal. I couldn't tell at first if that actually went in, but the official did signal that it was a goal. And all indications point to that. And it is 9-4 Cardinals. Waiting to hear how much time is left in the quarter. Case, I was about to say, Farrell now with another excellent look coming down. But a number of Fairhaven defenders are right there. And whistle blows. Is Fairhaven going to play? Who has the ball? I'm not sure who has the ball. I hear the quarter ending, the countdown, and that is going to do it. 3 quarters down in the final home game of the season for Case High. They lead this one 9-4. Goals so far: Gianna Botello has 1, Julia Lopes, Maeve Richardson, Adara Albritton has 2, Kelsey Farrell has 1, and Abby Vallis has 3, leading the way for the Cardinals. I would say this has been an overly successful first season here for the Case Lacrosse team. Initially, Carrie and I thought that they were winless on the year. As I said before, that's not the case. They have a 5-2 record. As the bird has returned to its nesting play. He's okay. You could hear the flap of that. That was fairly close to me. I can hear, I'm trying to see if I can see around in there. There's a camera. We don't use it at Swansea Community Network. I think it's the football team's camera. There's like a nest up inside the camera welding. The white pixelot type of box right near the cross beam here in the top half of the press box. We're filming from the top row of it. But no matter, it's 9-4. Game is definitely not over. 5 goals is certainly not an insurmountable total in a quarter. As Coach Ellie Roberts said earlier this year, Case actually did that. They were losing 5-0, which she thought was only 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. They ripped off 5 goals to tie it, only to lose, I think, in overtime, 6-5. Probably could hear bits and pieces. The Case baseball team has a system this year where they have walk-up music, and each player is announced in a pre-recorded message whenever they come up to bat. So you may have heard like very faintly. I was picked up on my mic or not. I've heard it up there on the Case baseball field. Technology has certainly come a long way. And here we go. 4th and final quarter is underway from Case High School. Cardinals leading this one 9-4 over the visiting Fairhaven Blue Devils. Tyler Clark, Swansea Community Network. Thank you for checking us out. Whether that is on our Swansea Community Network YouTube page, please remember to like the video, leave a comment if you enjoyed the commentary or the game in general, and subscribe to see more great content from Swansea Community Network. If you're watching this game on our Swansea Community Network cable channel, thank you for your support. Please encourage your family, friends to tune into more Case High sports content. And every view, whether on YouTube or on our cable channel, helps grow the network, helps grow content that we can bring you. You watch your son, daughter, granddaughter, family, friend, etc. play sports here at Case High School. Or maybe you're just a fan of lacrosse or baseball, softball in general, and you happen to come across and check us out. every game that we've ever recorded, at least in the last, I would approximate 6 or 7 years on Swansea Community Network, is on YouTube. Go back and find some old relics. We used to film all the sports, baseball, softball are recent, but we used to do basketball, football, soccer, and, well, as Adam knows, that's no more right now. Perhaps that'll come again in the future. I've been part of Swansea Community Network since about 2008. Graduated from Case High in 2009. I was a cameraman for a number of years. Switched over to announcing about a little more than 10 years ago. Did it on and off, but something that I've enjoyed doing. Feeling connected to my hometown, school that I went to. As I'm talking, Case with an excellent drive. That's Richardson. She gets it up to Lopes. Good look at the basket. The net, sorry. Here's Lopes, the shot, and no, just off net. It's a rather big basket. Be the net, or the goal, I should say. And that's Albritton. And that was a goal, I think. Nobody really reacted right away. And it seems like it was. I apologize. I didn't even realize that was a goal at first. But all indications seem to show that. And that's going to be the hat trick for Albritton. Dara Albritton with the third goal. It'll be 10-4 Cardinals. Fairhaven defender talking to their coach about something that happened. I'm not entirely sure what that was. Fairhaven with an excellent drive. It is swatted away, though. It is an aggressive game. We did see one yellow card earlier in the game called the number 2 Cassidy Blair for the Cardinals. 34, I think, for the Blue Devils was on the receiving end of it. And Fairhaven going to have a look at the net here. Avery Plant readies herself. Plant also the goalie for field hockey, so not an unfamiliar place for her to be. Fairhaven with a shot and a score. That was a bullet coming in. And that makes it 10-5. Cardinals still well out in front here. That's Farrell out there again for Case. Can't be too overly confident. Fairhaven can certainly come back and at least tie this. 5-goal advantage for the Cardinals. They played well in this one to be out to the 10-5 lead, and whistle was called. Referee directing people where to go. Looks like Fairhaven's going to have another shot on goal, and they take it, but they missed that one a little wide. That was another rifle shot. Here comes Case driving. That's Botello weaving in and out. Botello finally gets rid of that and is not controlled, unfortunately. That was looking for number 4, Abby Gauthier. I think the majority of the Case players on the roster have gotten into the game. Number 24, Audrey Archer. I have not said her name much in this game. See her on the sideline. Kaylin Hayter, number 22, one of the seniors, appears to not be dressed for the game. Recovering from an injury, I would imagine. And Point going to get that out to number 34 for the Blue Devils. She's going to try, it's like a shot on goal here. Here it is, the shot, and a goal. Well, Fairhaven's not going away quietly. It is 10-6. Creeping ever closer to tying this. Case still with a 4-goal advantage here in the fourth and final period. So as I've said, not insurmountable, but not something that Case should be playing around with either. Farrell out there again at midfield. There's the whistle. Farrell has 1 goal to her credit already. She played very well all season for the Cardinals, one of the only players on the team that has lacrosse experience prior to this year. Farrell drives, shot, scores! So Kelsey Farrell with her second goal. It's 11-6. Lots of scoring in this one. And there's Farrell again. Controlled though by Fairhaven. And Farrell gets it back anyway. Farrell passes over to Vallis. Already with 3 goals. Is looking for 4. Vallis with the drive. High shot over the net. Vallis hasn't scored yet in the quarter. She did score 1 goal in each of the first 3. One of 2 players, along with Adara Albritton, to record a hat trick in the game for the Cardinals. An impressive offensive showing. Gauthier fights for it, both number 4s for each team, and a whistle is going to end that. The wind is definitely picking up. It's really not as noticeable because Adam and I are inside of the press box. If we're out there on the field as the bird comes back. The bird, I don't know if you can hear. Oh, there he goes again. 2 minutes to go, and a shot and a goal! Riley Darty, number 9. Her first goal of the game. It's 12-6. Cardinals gonna bleed the clock here. Advance to 6-2 on a highly successful first season of lacrosse for these Case girls. There's a couple subs into the gate. Isabella Catini, Sierra Arujo are in. Number 14, Marissa Gomer trying to come in as well. There she goes. And that's Patello. The violation was called. Case will maintain possession of the ball. 1 minute to go in the game. Botello driving, swatted away by Fairhaven. And a whistle. Number 34 there to whack it away. And Case will keep going with it. They have 12. They want to make it 13, but Fairhaven is there. 30 seconds to go. Blue Devils looking to put together one final drive. They're doing a great job with it so far. They're having a lot of fight here. They have an excellent shot. Into the middle. And knocked away. Case is there. As the countdown is on. 2, 1, and that does it. Cardinals win this one. Final score of 12-6 over the visiting Fairhaven Blue Devils. A quick goal breakdown. Gianna Botello had 1. Abby Vallis had 3. Julia Lopes with a goal. Maeve Richardson with a goal. Kelsey Farrell had 2. Adara Albritton had 3. And Riley Doherty tacked on the final tally for the Cardinals to make it 12. So this is Tyler Clark, Swansea Community Network, alongside Director Adam Kitchen on the camera. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for supporting Swansea Community Network this year. And we hope to see you again in the future. Take care, everyone.